So now we know her name. It's Frances Haugen. Frances Haugen is the whistleblower from Facebook who's been releasing information to the Wall Street Journal that in the last couple of weeks has allowed them to write a number of really important exposés about business at Facebook and the impact that both Facebook and Instagram are having on people all over the globe. And one of the really notable headlines is about the impact of Instagram, particularly on young women and their body image, and a correlation, if not causation, between body image reflections from social media use and a desire to do harm to yourself. Really important stuff. But on 60 Minutes, Frances Haugen, when we now saw her and she explained from her perspective what brought her forth, she'd lost a friend. She'd lost a friend to the dark corners of the internet via social media. And she said something that I thought was really important. She said that Facebook changed their algorithms in 2018, January of 2018. And they did this in a manner that was intended to allow people to interact more with family and friends who were in their orbit. As Nick Clegg from Facebook said, this change was heavily driven by internal and external research that showed that meaningful engagement with family and friends on our platform was better for people's well-being. But it had the exact opposite impact. In other words, Facebook, in changing the algorithm, is now rewarding engagement. And engagement comes from anger and hostility and from misinformation. I mean, it's a tale as old as time, right? Think about it. A lie or rumor crosses town at lightning speed. The truth is always struggling, I think, as Churchill said, to put on its pants. The difference with social media in an internet age is you touch that send key and immediately someone is aware of whatever good or bad information you're putting out. The point is that the Facebook newsfeed is a place where people have gone thinking that they're well informed, thinking that they're well read, when in fact the algorithm has their number and rewards them with more misinformation and more anger and more hostility from family and friends. And as even Nick Clegg said, of course, everyone has a rogue uncle or an old school classmate who holds strong or extreme views we disagree with. That's life. And the change meant you are more likely to come across their posts too. People are getting a lot of bad information online. And this is why I keep saying it is time to change the channel. You've got to get your news and information from a variety of sources and click around at night on television in prime time. Don't be locked into one extreme or the other. And do it the same for radio, and do it as well for where you get your information online. Look, my website at Smerconish.com consists of 20 aggregated links that I hand select as a means of what I'll rely on to deliver that day's radio program. And when it was suggested to me that I should put them out in the form of a free newsletter, I did it because I thought, yeah, I got to put my money where my mouth is. If I believe people should be looking at a variety of news sources, then let me show them the news sources on which I'm relying to generate each day's radio program. So if you subscribe to my newsletter every day, which costs nothing, in your in bin by 7:30 a.m. Philly time, you'll have some original content, and you'll also have links that I hand selected from that day's headlines. If I just look at today's newsletter from Smerconish.com, I see a lead story from the Washington Post about the struggle between progressives and moderates in the House of Representatives, Democrats. I see the AP coverage of the leaked record story, that so-called Pandora box of financial secrets. I see a Wall Street Journal editorial about what's gone on relative to infrastructure from right of center. And I also see a New York Times left of center editorial about how the events of January 6 were much worse than we initially believed them to be. I have coverage from CBS News on the whistleblower that I was just mentioning. I've got a PBS report on how COVID is killing more in rural America than it is in urban America. NBC profile of Senator Kyrsten Sinema, Politico profile of Andrew Yang. I've got a CNN story about China sending warplanes to torment Taiwan, and a Washington Post story about the Gabby Petito case. On that score, I've also got a story from the New York Post about Dog the Bounty Hunter and a piece from the BBC about how that Swedish cartoonist was killed in an automobile accident, he who having once sketched the Prophet Muhammad. What I'm saying is, the lesson of Facebook and the whistleblower: make sure you're changing the channel and getting your news and information from a lot of different sources, and hold me accountable. Subscribe for free, register for my daily newsletter, and don't judge me by one day, but judge me over the course of a week. Am I not giving you good balance? If I'm not, you tell me so, but look at the stories in my newsletter that come from my website each and every day, because I'm doing what I think people need to do, which is to make sure that they're getting good balance. Thanks.